Hi friends! So now that you all have learned all of the Letterland characters, we're going to talk a little bit more about those plain letters that they represent. All right? Today we're going to talk about one of our Letterland friends, and I am going to give you some clues as to who this Letterlander might be, and I want you to see if you can figure out who are we going to be talking about today. So you need to listen and think while I give you some clues about who this Letterlander is. Are you ready? All right. This Letterlander looks like she has no ears. She has 2 legs and she has 2 feet, made just right for paddling in the water. She is always dipping and diving and dabbling in the water as she swims about in her pond. Who could we be talking about today? Which Letterlander would be dipping and diving and dabbling in her pond? If you said Dippy Duck, you're correct. This is the plain letter D, Dippy Duck's letter, and this is the lowercase letter d. So D, d, is Dippy Duck's sound, and lowercase d also has an uppercase D. This is uppercase D or capital D, and this is the letter that we use when we are starting important words like names, or we would use an uppercase D or a capital D when we are starting sentences, okay? So I want you to look at this picture. This is Dippy Duck in Dippy Duck's den at the edge of her duck pond. See how her capital letter or uppercase letter shape is the shape of her duck door? Which way is she looking out of her duck door on this card? As she makes her usual sound, D, she is looking out of her window here in the reading direction, the direction that we read in. We read from left to right. So she is looking in the reading direction out of her duck den door. So uppercase letter D, lowercase letter d. Now let's look at Dippy Duck on this card. Lowercase letter d, Dippy Duck, is also looking in the direction that we read, and she could be swimming in the direction that we read. We read from left to right. I want you guys to practice swimming in the reading direction like Dippy Duck does. Can you swim in the reading direction? Good. All right, so lowercase letter D and uppercase letter D. We are going to practice today finding uppercase D and lowercase d in a sentence. Now remember, a sentence is more than one word put together, and a sentence starts with an uppercase letter and ends with a period, and all of the words that make up that sentence have a space in between them. So in your seesaw activity today, you are going to get a page that looks like this. And you're going to complete this page. You can either print it out if you would like, or you can do it right there in your seesaw. And you're going to be looking for uppercase D and lowercase d in the words in this sentence. So let's take a look at this sentence for a minute. This sentence is describing this drawing at the top of the page, okay? And I want you to see if you can figure out how many words are in this sentence. How many words do you see? Remember that words are separated by spaces in a sentence. So let's count them together. I'm going to use my pointer finger to point to the words as I read them. And I want you to count in your head how many words are in this sentence. Are you ready? Dippy Duck is drawing a dog. How many words are in that sentence? Let's go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 words in this sentence. This sentence begins with an uppercase letter. It ends with punctuation, a period. And in between all 6 of those words is a space, a finger space. Okay? So your assignment in Seesaw is to read this sentence and find all of the uppercase and lowercase letter D's and circle them or color them, okay? All right, so we're gonna do this together. We're gonna look at the first word in this sentence. This first word, I'm gonna point to it, is dippy. Can you hear D at the beginning of the word dippy? That sound D. I'm going to circle this uppercase letter D with my highlighter. I'm going to color it in so you can see it a little bit better. There's an uppercase letter D in this word dippy. Let's look at the second word in this sentence. Do you see a D in that sentence? Dippy Duck. Hear it? Here's a D, uppercase letter D. These are uppercase D's because this is a name, Dippy Duck's name. All names begin with uppercase letters or capital letters. Dippy Duck is. Do you see a D in that word? Nope. No D in the word is. Let's look at this word, drawing. Do you see letter D in the word drawing? I do at the beginning here. This is a lowercase letter D. All right. Dippy Duck is drawing a. Do you see letter D in that word? Nope. How about in this word? Dog. Do you see letter D in that word? Yep. This is a lowercase letter D in the word dog. Did we get all of the letter D's in the sentence Dippy Duck is drawing a dog? We did. Now, everybody look up here at the drawing. In this drawing, there are some pictures of some words that begin with Dippy Duck sound D, D, D. You can circle those words, those pictures, or you could color them. So this is your assignment. You're going to spy all of the uppercase and lowercase D's, and then I want you to circle or color all of the words that begin with Dippy Duck sound, D, D, D. All right, are you ready? We're going to do a little more practice. We're going to do our letter drill, and you are going to say the letters with me. I want you to do their action sounds, okay? And then tell me, who is the Letterland character? Are you ready? Y, 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 yellow yo-yo man. C, k, clever cat. A, Annie apple. X, x, fix it Max. W, Walter Walrus. V, Vicky Violet. U, Uppy Umbrella. T, Talking Tess. S, Sammy Snake. Z, zigzag zebra. R, red robot. Q, quarrelsome queen. P, Peter puppy. O, Oscar orange. N, noisy Nick. B, bouncy Ben. K, kicking king. J, jumping Jim. I, impy ink. M, munching Mike. L, Lucy lamplight. G, golden girl. F, firefighter Fred. E, Eddie elephant. And H, Harry Hatman. Great job, friends. Way to go with that letter sound drill. All right, everybody. I want you to be on the lookout for your seesaw activity using Dippy Duck's letters D, lowercase d, and uppercase D, and find all of those words, pictures that begin with D. All right, see you later.